country. Pay our respects to elders past and present. We also extend that respect to all First Nation people. Thank you. Item 1 is apologies. Councillor Rountree is an apology. Me verbally. Councillors, you may have read the agenda and thank you for coming. It's a bit of unfortunate circumstance that we need to be here today to confirm these minutes and for you to have the opportunity to respond to the second point in the agenda. So I move to item 2, confirmation of the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the Coorong District Council held on that Ash, and including the confidentials or not? Yeah, the recommendation is the minutes, including the confidentials, the ordinary meeting of the 15th of October be adopted as a true and correct record. Someone move that way. Councillors Qualman and Bland is what I've got. Councillors, any discussion around them? Particularly focusing on the one that is a true and correct record in relation to the item 2. There being no discussion, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? That's carried unanimously. So, item, where'd it go? Item 3, I presume it is. Sayra Murraylands and Riverlands Regional Group election. So I declare an interest on material in this, I believe, Ash, and I will leave the room. Welcome you back, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, and we're on to Sayra Murraylands Riverland Regional Grouping election, where the Mayor declared an interest. He's one of the nominees and he's left the room, so it's up to me to put there. And we have 2 options there. Option 1, receive and note the report, and option 2, that provide a written verbal submission to the Local Government Association in relation to the 2024 Murrayland and Riverland Regional Grouping election. So I am guided by you.
Can I ask for Ash's view on this?
I think it's just being technicalities, isn't it, Ash? Because it's never had this problem before.
Yeah.
Chair. Yes, it's a technicality, I guess, in terms of them having invited us to put in a submission. It's the letter is quite broad in terms of what they would like to see in a submission. So that's very much, I guess, up to the council as to whether they want to provide any more information to the board to help them inform them when they make a decision on Monday about this.
Yep.
I'll just go back a step and so we can the flow and just the process as to how we ended up here. What was wrong?
So the letters from the LGA sets out that there was a discrepancy between the voting ballot papers and the council resolutions that each council resolved in terms of the Murraylands Riverland grouping. So it appears someone has done a count and they don't match up.
Oh. I just
Understand that.
Just clarify that.
I'm lost in the process because that doesn't make sense to me.
No, well, it's a confidential item on our books until we vote, correct?
It's a confidential item on Coorong District Councils at the moment, but technically that can come out now because they've essentially declared a result.
Right.
But I believe most of the other councils would have had public resolutions around this.
Okay.
So someone has been matching them up.
So in other words, what the council resolution was not the way it's been voted upon. Is that what you're saying?
That appears to be the way forward.
Yeah. Okay.
at least one of the councils.
So I'm led to understand that that's how we voted now because this is out and the other 7 weren't in confidence.
Well, it's technically out, but I haven't actually put it on the website yet.
No, I mean, there's an email back from jury lists the ballot papers, so the other 7 were known with one that wasn't. But Mayor Caroline Phillips, based on the other 7 councils' public documents, should have had 7 votes. Simone Bailey should have had 5 and Paul should have had 4. So one council's returned a ballot paper that should have had Simone and Carolyn as Simone and Paul. Based on their public minutes.
It's public.
Yeah, that's because we're the only ones that did it in confidence.
Okay. Well, I suppose what we've got to do is make up our mind. We've got to make a submission to the local government association, really.
Whether you want to or not.
Yeah, whether you want it or not. Yeah. If you don't want
They'll also,
our say in the representations, we ignore it, correct?
the other thing is they are inviting individual submissions from councillors as well. So that is an option, councillors too.
Is the effect of this going to be to reverse?
I think, but as far as I'm concerned, we should stick with our original nomination.
Well, that's what we resolved to do.
Well, that's what we
Yes.
decided upon after discussion.
Voted upon.
We did
Yeah.
have a discussion about it, and that was decided upon.
Yeah.
And if there's been something else that's happened somewhere along the line, that's not really our fault. Unless we want to change our way of thinking, but to me, that would be pointless.
Through the deputy chair,
Any different form, I get up.
by resolving the minutes, we're not changing. It wasn't up for discussion regarding changing the nominations. It was, we needed to confirm our minutes so that we could provide that to
Yeah.
the LGA. The second part of what we're talking about here is if we want to make a submission about the process or leave it up to an individual to make a verbal submission at a later date.
But I suppose through my thought is, do we leave it alone or do we say it's not exactly a good look that a declared election is now being challenged? Let's go back for another vote. Very often, the vote should be, but from an LGA point of view, declared void and fresh election held, be confirmed, or that a candidate deemed to be not duly elected after being declared elected.
I actually think to be.
What,
clear, vote.
What
From a
time?
process clean point of view,
Yeah.
go back for another vote.
Just, all right, Ash, what is the time limit on, we've got to notify them that we've confirmed our minutes, right? So that's our nominations are confirmed. That's by Friday?
They want that information by Friday, yes.
Yes.
They're
The
having.
written or verbal submission regarding the election, when does that, surely that doesn't have to be done by Friday too?
The written submission needs to be done by Friday.
Right.
And
All right.
if you want to, yep. And if you want to put in a verbal submission, then we need to indicate by tomorrow.
And the LGA board meeting is on Monday,
Yeah.
the 18th at 11 a.m. Hence the short time frames.
Verbal.
And I believe the reasoning, some of the reasoning behind this is if they do decide to do another election, that may affect the Murraylands Riverland representatives' opportunity to nominate for the SAROC chair position, because that's decided at the LGA AGM, which is also next week.
Friday.
Week after, yeah. Next week, yeah.
Yeah, next Friday.
Why can't that be delayed? Why can't the decision for the chair be delayed and have an interim chair?
Well, I think they were a bit wary about that since they elected a new LGA president, and unfortunately who didn't get elected as a member. And they did that 6 months before the election, and she lost the mayoral. The
Yeah, I
mayoral
remember
position
that.
was lost, so
Still.
they've changed a lot of those things that they all go behind now, so they don't get caught up in that.
Okay.
And trouble with a lot of these things, as you agree, they're tied up with all the rigmarole of how you got to do. As long as you'd like to say, yeah, it's not right, it shouldn't be done like that. You've got procedures to follow.
Yeah, so they're following their constitution, or the terms of reference, I think, set out for SAROC. It is a bit of a strange process, I guess, to fill out a ballot paper and submit a council resolution on the same subject. But that's a requirement currently under the terms of reference. Okay.
So our minutes that we've confirmed doesn't qualify as a written submission. Because that basically says what we resoluted, or whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Resolved, get it right. I'm tired, I've worked all day like everybody else, but, so that basically isn't the same thing. They would want, we can just, what happens if we just receive and note the report?
Well, that's what I think.
We'll take that to mean that we won't put in a submission as such, at least on behalf of the council as a whole.
Mm-hmm. And that's not really what you would like to see happen, or
I don't have,
your gut feeling on this? Now, if we didn't have our mayor as one of the candidates, it would be a little more black and white, wouldn't it?
Well, not necessarily, because I think SAROC is a group that's does need a bit of a shake-up, and I think everyone in local government agrees with that. And it's been, well, I think it's got to the stage a couple of years ago that no one really knows what they stand for. And under the Constitution, you know, like they're a funny little group, but that's what they're trying to do now, is get it more professional, more for what it's for, you know, doing what its purpose is. South Australian Rural Councils.
through the chair, I think if anything, it probably highlights there's some room for improvement in terms of
Yeah.
their election process.
Mhm.
And they are still going through a bit of a review of all of the LGA constitution and the two
Yeah.
committees. So whether we want to submit something around that or not, that's up to you.
I suppose I'm probably keen to put something in. The fact that we have a ballot paper, it's a bit of a weird situation. You have it. It's almost like they should just accept the record of the minute as a vote.
Mm.
Why do we have a ballot paper? It could be gamed. Seems to be what could potentially happen. Ballot paper submitted, nobody checked it. We would never have known. I hope I don't know. I'm sort of leaning to writing. I don't think it's right to not do a do-over, but I'm not wedded to the idea either.
I'm in favour of a do-over. I just think they need, if they're doing a shake-up, the process is wrong. They need to do it properly. You relied on someone to match it up,
We're
the minute and the ballot papers to see it, to find out it was wrong.
Hmm.
And it wasn't staff that was doing the match-up by the sound of it.
No, it's one of the candidates that drew it to their attention.
Well, that can be put in the written submission, though.
If we decide to go with option 2, who will write the submission, Ash? Will it be you with help from the mayor, or will it be the mayor?
I think
We've got to make sure that whoever's going to write the submission, because it's got to be in by tomorrow,
the mayor
it's
wants
got
to
time.
himself a bit from this process because he's going to attend, I believe his intention is to attend the meeting on Monday as a candidate and speak to that. So yes, if you do want to put a submission in, if you've got ideas, any would be appreciated that they come through sooner rather than later. It sounds like you prefer the do-over option. Would you say that if you prefer that, so long as they have the opportunity then to nominate for those other subsequent positions?
Yes.
That's definitely.
I don't think our submission needs to be lengthy. I think it's making a point about process, a point about the gaming system, the potential for that, and a fresh election, given the circumstances, would be preferred if. That's mine.
I don't disagree with that. And with the clause in relation to the ability to look at other roles when they go to the committee. I agree with that too. And I wouldn't like to see that knocked out. I was being pedantic about wanting to do it. I'll leave you to write it in the way, but that's my own opinion.
Well, we need some sort of decision. I can't make it,
I'll move what I just said.
and it's not going to be a tight vote this time. So what do we do?
So we're going option
Is
2.
anyone prepared to move option 1 or option 2?
Yeah, you can verbalise it.
So if we
He's
move,
got it organised.
if you got, sorry, through the chair, can I ask if?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'll be putting with that.
Okay, so, motion being, we do provide a written submission, expressing dissatisfaction in the process that led to this outcome. Just missing the word dissatisfaction there.
After expressing.
After the.
Point 2,
Go back.
Ed. Council is of the view that the process should be rerun as long as not, what's the word here? Impinging on or
Detriment.
not detrimental to the election of SAROC chair.
Of the opportunity to stand for Sarah.
Yeah, sorry,
The
as long
election.
as it's not detrimental to the opportunity of a candidate to stand for SAROC chair.
I think there's the LGA board as well.
Actually in there. It's okay. It's all right. It's the other way around.
So do we want just those 2 points?
I think
Yep.
that sort of captures what we.
Is everyone happy with that? Ash, being our brains in the show,
What happens?
and not the person with the knowledge on these things.
Bill said that, yeah, that they should
Yeah.
still
I think
pick,
that-
the hint is there that you need to.
Probably-
pick.
Through the chair, this will be provided, the LGA board will meet, they'll consider it, and then they
Make the decision.
make the decision in any
Yeah.
event, so they may. The other member councils might have similar views to us, they might not. Yeah, we won't know that until Monday after the meeting.
Mr Mayor.
Okay, yes, councillor Coleman.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. Yeah, we've at option 1, we've done the right thing and we've accepted our minutes and and got that one out the way. But they, as Ashley just mentioned, they were hinting over submission, and I think what the council's put together there is a good thing to remind them of probably a bit better practices when they do the elections, and they wanted a submission, so we give them one, and we've our bit of opinion. So I'm in favour of that. Thank you.
Right, so we're all in favour. Would someone like to move the motion? Councillor Peach moved it. Councillor Land has seconded it. If there's no further discussion, I'll put that motion. All those in favour? It's carried unanimously. Ashley?
Bring the mayor back in.
Well, they got their submission. They wanted
Bring the boss back in.
It's quite extraordinary.
This is supposed to be a professional organisation. Maybe they thought we should have put something about.
Switch it off now.
Yes. It was a ballot paper.
The last time this, because it was the same two women and there was a Riverland and it was I think it was a tied vote 3 ways.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because Simone's pretty, or Caroline, they both, want to be up there.
Yeah.
We've got-
Have we finished the agenda?
Yes.
That's the case, I can declare the meeting closed. Thank you for coming. It's a great meeting for me, I think.
Right.
I'm not sure yet.
Through now.